Hey coffee cats! Today I'm going to show you my recipe for AeroPress. It's super similar to cupping or French press, so if you've done either of those, it should be very familiar for you. Or if you feel intimidated by cupping, this is a great way to get into it and to have fun while you're doing it. For this method, we're going to use the AeroPress in the inverted fashion. So you just have to put the plunger a little bit in there and have your AeroPress flipped upside down. We're going to be using a 60 gram per liter ratio, which is equivalent to about 1 to 16.7. You can even do 1 to 17 if you'd like. And we're going to grind our coffee at a medium level. So on the niche, that's about 12 o'clock right down the center. And on other grinders, just grind as you would for cupping or for drip coffee maker. It's pretty much like coarse sea salt. Today I'm going to be using methodical coffee. This natural Guatemala tastes like a fruit cocktail. No joke. So that's about the size that you want your grounds. And now that you have your coffee in your AeroPress, you can start heating up your water if you haven't already, up to 207 degrees Fahrenheit or 97 degrees Celsius. Alright, now that our water is up to temp, we can wet our double filters. You can also use a metal filter or a cloth filter, doesn't really matter. So we can start our timer as we pour our water, and we want to make sure we saturate all those grounds. So I like to turn the AeroPress a little bit, and then once you get it all saturated, you can just pour straight in the middle and slow your stream down a bit so you don't add any agitation. And I like to cover the AeroPress with the cap and the filters just to keep the heat in. And then you can take your AeroPress off of the scale. But remember to keep the timer on so you can keep that clock rolling. And we're aiming for a 4-minute steep. So from the time we wet the grounds until the time we're going to break the crust is 4 minutes. You can also do smaller doses for this recipe. Just to use that 1 to 16.7 ratio. Sometimes I like to do about 10 grams instead of 15 grams, so that would be 10 grams of coffee and 150 grams of water. And this is a great way to practice cupping because that's exactly what you're doing, is you're pouring water onto the grounds, you're letting it sit for 4 minutes, and then when you break the crust, you're sniffing the coffee, and you're kind of getting more of the aromas, you're getting more of a little ritual going, a little experience. I recommend having a towel at the ready for this process, and I'll show you why when we're gonna press. Around 3 minutes and 45 seconds, start to get your spoon at the ready and maybe have a little vessel on the side ready to skim off the top of the grounds. And at 4 minutes, we can break the crust, give it a whiff. Just notice what you smell. And then take off the foamies and the extra little grounds at the top. We won't be needing those. This is an optional process, but it's a really good way to practice for cupping. Alright. And now we can put our cap on. And we're gonna wait until 6 minutes on the clock before we start pressing. Around 5 minutes and 45 seconds is when I like to start taking the rag and the AeroPress and pressing out the extra little air that's at the top. And do this slowly until you get little beads of coffee coming up. And then you can wipe that away. And then put your decanter or cup on top, flip your AeroPress over, and you can start pressing. And I like to aim for about a minute long press for this dose. Just do it very slowly. That way we don't get any of the diterpenes into the cup or just reduce the amount that we get in there. Creates a cleaner cup the more we take our time. And then when you hear that little hiss at the end, you can stop, take your rag, give it a nice wipe, flip her back over, and you can give your coffee a little swirl. Have it in a decanter. Give it a whiff. And there you have it, a delicious cup of coffee. While you're waiting for your coffee to cool down a bit, you can take the cap off. And if you have a knockbox, it really helps out. And knock it out. And I hope you enjoy your cup of coffee. And there you have it, a very simple way to make an AeroPress. Yeah, it takes a little bit longer, but you're more likely to get a great cup out of it, and you don't have to count the amount of stirs that you do. I feel like it creates the best situation for you to taste the flavor notes that are on the bag of coffee that you bought. And you can really get those flavors that the roaster was tasting. Because when they're tasting the coffee, they're cupping. And this is going to be the closest flavor to cupping without a lot of hassle. So I hope you have a wonderful day. I would be super grateful if you could give this video a thumbs up and comment and subscribe. Thank you so much. I'll see you on the flip side. Have a good one.